Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Parishioners in Detroit are upset over a beloved priest's exit from their church, and some wonder if there's more to it than retirement.
One of Detroit's neighboring cities, #1 on a new list, one that may surprise you. We'll have that coming up too.
A harrowing scene on a Saturday night. A bus full of middle school children tips over in the rain. And while it looked like everyone got out with a little more than frayed nerves, tonight we're learning that's not the case.
Some of the injuries to 10 students and 6 adults, much worse than first reported. The bus was returning to Heartland from Chicago. It was almost home when something went wrong. Rod Maloney has the story along I-96 in Highland Township.
Heartland Middle School has 2 buses full of band members, parents, chaperones, teachers, a couple of bus drivers. They're coming back from Chicago on Saturday night. They get right here at the Burkhart Road exit at M59, 24 miles from their destination, when one of the buses tips over on its side. The muddy tire tracks are all that remains on the side of the off-ramp that was no doubt a harrowing and emotional scene. The Livingston County Sheriff's Department reported just before 11 Saturday night, the buses filled with 42 band and choir members were on the last leg of a long trip. Somehow, the driver in one of the buses wound up off the asphalt on that swooping turn, and the charter tipped over, sliding sideways down the hill, everyone inside and the bus's contents landing on the one side. Stunned passengers did their best to stay calm, but there were injuries. 10 students, 6 adults wound up getting sent to local hospitals. The rest of the group went to a local fire hall to reunite with family. Shaken but undeterred, everyone seemed well initially. First report said that everyone walked away without life-threatening injuries, and while it still remains true, it appears the injuries sustained are considerably more severe. The sheriff's office now reports at least 1 broken neck, broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and a broken hand. We're told 1 mother and a chaperone is in the hospital at the University of Michigan with severe back injuries needing surgery. Meantime, at the school this afternoon, no one was saying much, but the community is rallying around the one family concerned about its serious health issues. Now we're out here at the school, and one of the things that we're hearing from the Livingston County Sheriff's Department is that they have the bus in custody. They're taking a look at it to see if there was some kind of a problem. They do not believe that drugs or alcohol were involved, and so they're going to continue their investigation. They say if there will be charges, they'll pass them along to the prosecutor's office, but at this point, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Back to you.
Rod, I'm wondering if whoever it is that owns the bus had anything to say about it.
Yeah, you know, I gave a call to it's called the Ground Travel Specialists out of Brownstown Township. They had both of the buses. They owned them. I spoke to one of the representatives there who said that they sympathize, they apologize about the accident, and they certainly wish all of the people who were injured in this accident well.
Yeah, as do we. All right, Rod. Kim.
A frightening incident on a high school track in Macomb County last September led to a hearing today. It involved a man accused of trying to sexually assault a woman who was running at Chippewa Valley High School. Larry Spruill brings us up to speed on the charges he's facing and what was decided in court today.
All right, Mr. Pearson, you're here today on file 19-1436-SC. Here today.
Douglas Pearson II faced Judge Ryan Zemke through a TV monitor Monday afternoon, hearing the charges he's now facing for the first time.
Both offenses are criminal sexual conduct in the second degree.
He's accused of 4 charges, 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct, 1 count of criminal sexual conduct with intent to force sexual penetration, and police say he interfered with a crime report. These are all charges from a chain of events dating back from September 2018.
And using force or coercion to accomplish the sexual contact. This is a registrable offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act, and HIV and STD testing may be required as well. Those are both felonies punishable by up to 15 years in prison.
Police believe he tried to sexually assault a woman while she was running on the track at Chippewa Valley High School. Police say she fought off her attacker and he ran away. I spoke to Pearson's father after court Monday off camera. He tells me police arrested his son Friday at work, and he thought his son was cleared from the charges back in September after a DNA test. But he did not want to talk to me on camera. And a judge did grant Pearson a $50,000 bond, but he can't have any contact with the victim. We're live tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Okay, Larry.
One of the leaders in the state of Michigan's investigation of the Flint water crisis has been fired from his job. The state's Solicitor General, appointed by Attorney General Dana Nessel to oversee the Flint investigation, announced Todd Flood's contract was terminated 2 weeks ago. Flood was appointed as a special prosecutor by the former Attorney General Bill Schuette. He helped file charges against 15 state and local officials in that case. Todd Flood has not yet commented on his dismissal.
In Bloomfield Township, the search for suspected thieves continues. The crime happened Saturday at Ulta Beauty on Telegraph near West Square Lake Road. General manager says 125 items were taken. Those products collectively are valued at more than $6,000. Take a good look here. If you recognize these suspects, contact police.
City of Detroit is still working on buying land for the new Chrysler plant even after the deadline passed, according to the Detroit News. Chrysler had given the city a deadline of April 27th to buy the remaining 200 acres on the city's east side. That land owned by the Maroon family. The deal between Chrysler and the city says Detroiters will get their first chance at the 5,000 new jobs at the plant if the city buys the land and gives it to the automaker. Past the deadline, but still negotiating.
Yeah. A new ranking of America's most stressful cities listed a surprising one at number 31.
Hamtramck. But what led to that distinction? Jason Colthorpe went to look into it and see how folks are doing there. Jason.
Hamtramck on the island inside the city of Detroit. It's a true melting pot. I mean, it's both hip and blue collar. How many cities can say that? And I'll tell you what, if you like you some pierogi and or poochki, well, Hamtramck is a little slice of heaven. So why would the job finder website Zippia label Hamtramck as the most stressed city in Michigan? Its study determined not enough people are working, and those who are work a lot of hours and have a long commute. Home prices are too high, and apparently Hamtramck's 2.09 square miles isn't nearly big enough for its 22,000 people.
You put 20,000 people in 2 square miles, people are going to get stressed out.
As it turns out, some Hamtramckers have an even longer list of things they're stressed about.
Need better parking.
I see there's a lot of aggressiveness on the road here. Kind of like it's a little bit lawless.
Roads is not good. Lot of hole in road. You see that?
Potholes. Okay, that's the bad. How about the good?
There's still like a really strong, tight-knit, small community.
I can walk around at 2 in the morning and I always feel safe.
I always considered Hamtramck to be like the Ellis Island of the Midwest.
I live across the street from everything in the world. Like, I got a flat tire, I went across the street. I have to go grocery shopping, I go across the street.
I love it, but at the same time, it's time for me to go. It's starting to get a little weird.
Maybe a little weird, and sure, some stress, but nothing this city can't overcome.
The good things about Hamtramck is that it survives. It's always managed to come back and fight back and to keep itself going. So there's always been hope for the city.
And maybe some hope for a little more serenity. In Hamtramck, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
The gal with the thumbs up glasses said it's getting a little weird.
A little
That's
weird.
Awesome.
That was fantastic. Yeah. The most stressed out city in America, according to the study, is West New York, New Jersey, followed by Huron, California, and South Miami, Florida, where you would think, why would that?
It's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'd think
be stressed
everybody
out
chilling
there.
out there. Yeah. It was a happy reunion in Ann Arbor for one family, a Huron family ambulance, and also the Ann Arbor Fire Department.
Well, that's because they were celebrating their collective effort to bring a baby into the world when Ann Arbor mom Corinne Klein went into labor at home. Dad Eaton Klein called 911, who told him help was on the way and that he would have to deliver the baby himself, with the dispatcher walking him through the process.
I want you to support the head and shoulders with that next contraction. She's going to push the baby out, okay?
Well, the ambulance and fire department arrived after the baby was born. They made sure mom and baby were okay, took them to the hospital. The family went to the fire department earlier this month to meet with and thank the first responders, and the baby's older brothers got to check out the fire trucks, which I'm sure they thought.
That dispatcher was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Cooler than a cucumber.
Nicely
You're right.
done. Yeah. Let's see what the NBC Nightly News team is working on for 6:30.
Lester Holt joins us live from New York with a preview. Lester, good evening.
Hey, Devin and Kim, coming up on NBC Nightly News, the investigation into a popular home improvement website and app. One couple warning the contractor they were recommended was a convicted felon and left their home in a disaster. We'll tell you about that. Plus, my conversation with a counterterrorism chief about security at houses of worship. Obviously, that's on a lot of people's minds right now.
Oh, sure.
No doubt. A lot of people, I think, wondering what you can be told about protecting churches, synagogues, and mosques. What did the officer tell you?
Yeah, I spoke with a man. He's actually the NYPD counterterrorism chief, and he shares some details of how police work to try and deter criminals. We'll have that when we see you coming up here.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it, Lester. Thank you. An insect called a kissing bug can't be so bad, can it? Well, it can, and it's moving north in our direction. What you should know before its potential arrival, coming up in Good Health.
And here comes Ben.
Well, less things to worry about here in the weather department. Scattered showers tonight, but we've got waves of rain headed our way this week. And if you can hold on, a nice prize for the weekend. That's all ahead.
All right, Ben. Also, parishioners often grow very fond of their priests, of course, don't like to see them leave. One local group taking action to prevent an exit they feel puts their whole church at risk. Next.